Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is DJ the Money Coach. I'm sitting here in the middle of the Chicago highway. Look at this: Columbus Drive, the Buckingham Fountain, the skyline. It's amazing. The Prudential Building, the John Hancock Building, the Sears Tower, the Americana Congress Hotel, Columbia. Hey, you can only do this if you're free. That's right. And how do you get free? Four dirty little words: discipline, accountability, plug into a system, go to work. 3 years to 5 years, you can be consumer debt free, 800 credit score, six-figure passive income, and a seven-figure net worth if you're willing to do the work. And most importantly, you can keep it all. But you gotta plug in the system to be 100% you and get that pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money, peace of mind. Come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. I'm DJ the Money Coach. I'll see you in the next webinar. Get free.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nick's Knowledge and Notions NQ Science Series, brought to you by the Seven Spheres of Money. Before we get started with the show, like the video, share it, and help us to reach 1,000 subscribers by subscribing to the Seven Spheres of Money on YouTube. Now, let's go ahead and get into the show. So what's up, DJ? How you feeling tonight?
Man, I'm excited, man. You know why I'm excited? Because when you go into the next level, the what's the guy's name? The adversary, i.e. Satan, Lucifer, the morning star. He comes at you hard, fast, because he knows he's already condemned for eternity, and he wants you to be condemned with him. So what he does is show you the video of your past transgressions to get you off your positive pathway with God, and he comes hard. But he can only knock you off if you're not expecting it. You don't have a divine, program to run. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, there's no way you get to the next level of self-actualization or closer to God without Satan reaching out and trying to knock you off your pathway. And if he's not, guess what? You already lost. So why I'm excited? Because he coming hard at us, and we are like Teflon Don, baby, repellent. And that just tells me we're on the right pathway, knocking the cover off the ball. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, true indeed. Yeah, if you're not facing any resistance or any struggle, then it's a good, that means I won't say you're not doing anything, but it shows that you are doing something if you're facing some resistance there, for sure. Yep, good evening, K Business Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching.
Hey, K Business Podcast. Share this with 5 people right now live to tell them, come on in and join us with you and enjoy this telecast tonight, baby, because it's going to be off the chain. So share it immediately with 5 people right now.
Yes, true indeed.
Thank you for your patronage.
Yes, thank you.
Salute.
Salute. Yes, yeah, off the chain as it always is every Friday night at this time. Yeah, so what I want to talk about tonight, I was just reflecting on well thank you. Thank you. Got 2,700K subs, and you're about to do it right now. Well thank
real love.
Yeah, real love right there.
We got them leadership warriors out there. Real love. Appreciate you.
Indeed. Thank you. Yes. So the topic for tonight, as you see in the title, the symbolic meanings of the fall season. So this past Wednesday, the 22nd, marked the official start to the autumn season, and that that season is marked by changes in the earth, changes in the weather, changes in the vegetation. And as the earth is going through that transition, it's also a time for us to self-reflect and go through, a transition as well. Of course, any time is a good time to take self-inventory and focus in and reflect on our lives and where we are. But just seeing it visually outside in nature and in the climate and the weather, that can give us another reminder to do that, because sometimes we get so caught up in the everyday hustle and bustle of our lives that we don't remember to sit down and take inventory of where we are, where we're going, maybe what things we need to change and get rid of. So I'll start with change, since I mentioned change. So you notice that the colors of the leaves start to change, and they fall, they go from green and they change colors to the orange, the red, they fall off the branches. They're on the ground. And I remember growing up, I was out there. I was raised by a real man that had me outside working. So I remember having to go outside and, rake those leaves while my pops was on the leaf blower and putting them on the tarp and, carry them to the curb. So, you see the leaves on the ground.
Don't you forget, man, we also played those leaves. Come on,
we played the leaves too. Yeah,
jumping that pile of leaves, man. That was a lot of fun. Big time fun. Hate have to rake them bad boys up, especially if you had a big yard like we had. But once you got them into that big old massive pile, it was like I think they called it King of the Hill. You just dive on into that pile, man, and have fun like a kid and just love life. So I enjoy the changes of the season and the harvest. And just make my kids do that. And the leaves are falling down already in the backyard, and they are not excited about it, but they're gonna be excited after they do that work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It builds character. It builds character for sure.
Absolutely. Big time.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see what Kay said. The leaves will regrow in the spring. We should also leave bad habits and grow good habits. Yeah. So talking about change, and that also ties into the ABCs of wealth. I was reading the first strategy A, about attitude, and this man right here on the screen, he wrote in that book, nothing changes unless you do. So when we talk about the change in the leaves and how that applies to us in our everyday lives, one of the things that may need to change is our attitude. It all starts with the mind. The actions follow. First the mindset changes, and then the habits and the actions follow after that. So think about what's going on in your life. Where are you in life that in areas that you might need to change as you're taking that self-inventory in all areas of your life. Of course, there's the 7 spheres of money, so we always talk about finances, but are there changes you need to make, in your, relationships and your, with your health, with your career, take inventory of all those things and, make changes where necessary. DJ, got any thoughts on this idea of change? As the seasons change, we
oh yeah, man, absolutely. First thing is, you are where you are today based on what you did 5 years ago. So if you did not make a metamorphosis change mentally, and you're not where you want to be today, that's because what you were doing 5 years ago is the seeds that you planted for this harvest. That's the first thing, okay? The second thing is that when you come into the harvest season, the work should already been done so that you can yield a beautiful harvest. So a lot of people, they get into the season and then there's nothing, growing positive, asset-wise or other And the first thing they want to do is do the blame game. So what I want to take you back to is the actual story of the ant and the grasshopper. Okay, so in the summer and in the spring being, for you to spawn your seeds to actually grow for the fall and the harvest, the grasshopper is immaculate, ornate, and beautiful, and hopping around and just enjoying, the spring and then the summertime. But the ant is working hard, baby, constantly working. And there's a saying, when things are going good, work harder, work smarter, work farther, because there will be a winter in everyone's harvest. So the grasshopper, being ornate, springy, effervescent, did not get that message. So when the fall came and the change of the seasons and the summer dried up and there was no seeds planted, the grasshopper has the audacity to go knock on the ant's door and say, hey, I didn't plan for the fall. Can you help a brother or a sister out and give me a little bit of your porridge? And the ant in his wisdom say, hey, you should have been working instead of playing, and I can't help you. Now, why is that important? Because you're going to come in contact with people like that. They could be cousins, aunts, uncles, moms, sisters, brothers, friends, and they're going to see you doing that work while they vacationing, while they out shopping, and they having a good time, and they telling you about it. And then all of a sudden, they're going to have some oops because they didn't plan, and they didn't put that, hole, the actual material, the material stick hole, okay, and start tilling the grass and turn it over like it's supposed to be turned over every 7 years. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, help a brother out because they didn't plant the seeds and they were frolicking. And now they expect you to carry their load. Or they expect the government to tax the hell out of you to carry their load. So you have to have a spine still to do them the real favor and not help them out, because you should give people a hand up, not a handout. So the season you're in now, unbeknownst to you being stricken with some illness or some catastrophe like the pandemic that jumped on us, those we help. But if they got health, and they got the ability to work and to open their mouths, and while you were grinding and they weren't, you got to be a strong spine person and say, guess what? Next time, you'll put that work in. And when you put that work in, you'll reap the harvest that we're reaping. Because if I give you something that you didn't earn and you weren't stricken health-wise or catastrophically, all I'm going to do is enable you and you're going to get worse. So let's build some character in this time. And conversely, for the people who actually did the work and you're yielding a harvest, let's store up some of that harvest for the rainy day. Pack some of that fruit in a sealed container. Pack it in the freeze bag. See, when we grew up, our parents and our parents' parents used to do that because we didn't have abundance, but we got out of practice of doing that. So now you're seeing this harvest, which a lot of people don't know as well, in the witchcraft world. This is also the harvest of sacrificing human souls and bodies in the harvest. So it's two seasons at the same time. One diabolical, and one's God-based. Which one you serving?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So the change, mind, plan, work, discipline, accountability, and a leader expects challenges that are just disguises of opportunity for the harvest. And they learn from that and they build on it to make a better society. And that's what the reflection of the leaves in their process of change. Because it goes from green to orange to red to brown to down.
To death. Yep.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cycle. Yep.
So you know these seasons are coming, then why not prepare for them
Mm-hmm.
and eliminate that entitlement mentality?
Mm. Mm.
Because that unexpected, it will hit you hard. And we're going to talk about this next week, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek, is that your chief and commander, he worse than Tricky Dick. He's right now trying to appropriate and seize access to your personal checking and business accounts so the government can get more of your money. When he told you he was going to tax the wealthy, you ain't taxing the wealthy, baby. They got too much money, too many lobbyists, too many loopholes. But you know who's taxable? The middle class America. He ain't taxing the poor because they got nothing. They get to earn income credits. He taxing you and me. And your harvest can be up for grabs. And your pearls can be spent across, pigs and everything else. So that's kind of elongated, but I want you to understand in these 4 seasons the importance of this harvest and the importance of staying locked in mentally first. Then the importance of having discipline. Then the importance of having accountability, not to yourself, to somebody else that'll hold you accountable, not a yes man, a yes woman, but somebody that had earned the right to put their foot in your behind. And then plug into a system. And if you don't have one, try to create one or emulate a proven system. And then put your head down hard to the grind in the spring, in the summer, and work the till to turn it over. So when the harvest comes again next season, your plate in your house is bountiful.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't do that before and you got your health and you got a good mind, you can still start your plan right now today, because that's what the indication of the harvest is. Because when that leaf turns brown and it goes into the soil in the spring, it sprawls right back up into a beautiful blossom of green foliage. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Yeah, and you mentioned storing up that pieces of that harvest, and in the jars, preserving it, preservation. This is also a time for protection, knowing that after those leaves, turn brown and go into the ground and they're gone, the winter comes next. So, you're not only storing up for that rainy day, you're also protecting what you have, from the elements too. So, you heard us, for several weeks telling you that the winter is coming. And, we told you that on a multi level perspective, from a financial perspective, but also from a mental perspective, from all of the messages that you're being bombarded with on a daily basis. And now with the changing of the weather, with to get it darker, especially up here in the north. It's almost 8 p.m. Eastern time, and it's dark outside. Maybe about a month or two ago, the sun was still out, and we know how that sudden change can affect us mentally. I know someone who's really close to me, suffered from seasonal depression. Where he was just feeling depression, just spontaneously. So this is also a time to protect yourself and gear up your defenses. And as it gets colder up here in the north, it's also time to boost up your immunity. Especially with everything that got going on.
Yep, because it's going to magnify.
Yep, it's going to magnify. Yep,
that's the reality. And again, what you should also do mentally, because even before this pandemic, approached our shores, that seasonal depression that you're referring to, it's been perennial. And a lot of times, how you can get out of that is surround yourself with good, positive people that got great mindsets. And if you don't find yourself around them, you need to reach out and find them and pray about that as well. So it's never too late to change your trajectory in life. It's never too late to change your legacy. And it's never too late to create the foundation for a masterful dynasty for your children's children. But that all starts, again, number one, discipline. Number two, accountability. Number three, plug into a system. Number four, put that work in, and then know what you should be doing in advance every 90 days of what the seasons will bring for you and what you expect from them. And then you will make it a balanced, successful, gradual increase in your household. And we like to call it the crawl, walk, run program. And what you should be doing right now is taking inventory and assessment. So if you've done a great job of preserving things in the harvest for the winter, then duplicate that plan for the next year and double up. Because we're told, press down over 100 times, it multiplies. The parable of the seeds that you plant in the ground. So you have to start planting those seeds properly. How does that look in terms of finances? It looks this way. Number one, what were my goals at the beginning of 2021 from a financial perspective? And if I'm just starting out at the bottom and I had nothing, maybe a goal would be, to save $1 a day. Something as small as that. And how does that look? Well, that looks at, maybe I don't endeavor in buying, extra, apps. Maybe I don't endeavor in, getting Netflix, Prime. Maybe I don't endeavor in getting the super name brand, material, but getting another version of it so I can save that dollar. Maybe I add that extra dollar to my debt so I can pay down a little bit more of it in advance. And don't panic. Okay? And then if you're at the average position in life, now I want to check, do I have my Roth IRA? Am I participating in it? And if I am participating in it, do I have the ability to max it out and still sustain a good lifestyle? Because here's what we don't do a great job in the harvest, is that we don't look down the road for Nick at 35, Nick at 45, so that Nick at 30, Nick at 45 will be awesome, grateful for Nick at 30 for the harvest and the seeds that he planted. And you got to expect that you're going to be here 5, 10, 15 years from today. And don't subscribe to that negative message that, especially if you're a black male, you're only going to be here, 0 to 19, 21. Be bold. Be audacious. And expect you're going to live a minimum of 72 years. And if you are, most of the people you come into contact with, they're not going to be in your life 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And the ones that are, that you planted the right seeds with, they're going to have a certain lifestyle that they are going to be like the ant or the bee, constantly putting something away. So now I got that Roth taken care of. And I know, I hear you. Oh, that's some basic stuff, DJ. Well, guess what? I'm going to keep it real with you. Probably 90% of the people I sit down with in the middle class, they know about a Roth IRA. They ain't participating in it, and they're not fully funding it. And here's the irony of it. The Roth IRA, guess what? It's only been around since 1998. But it's one of the greatest gifts that your government gave you. Here's another tip. The 401k. It's only been around since 1978. So if I take advantage of these pre-tax and never tax vehicles, while I think I might be struggling, I'm probably going to be successful at one point in time in my life. And when I am, I would hope that I took advantage of the rule of 72, which tells me how to multiply my earnings and my investments by taking the amount of interest that I earn divided into 72. It'll tell you how quickly it'll double for you, or conversely, double against you. And how do I do that? Get myself out of debt. Now, I fully funded that Roth IRA. So now I'm going deeper in the harvest next year. I'm in the winter. I have that savings account, that emergency fund. I got a little bit of that Roth kicking off. So the next year, I'm going to endeavor to be a real entrepreneur. And the first thing I'm going to do as an entrepreneur, I'm going to set up a vehicle for me to have a great retirement. Why am I endeavoring to be an entrepreneur if it's not to live life peacefully, stress-freely the older I become? And again, 5 years go just like that. So in this harvest, this preservation in the wintertime, I'm still working my plan, and I'm still surrounding myself with people who are where I'm going. So I never take advice, even in the hard times, the difficult times, and we all have them. And they're all relative, is what I want to say to you. Okay? So millionaires have problems. Thousandaires have problems, and they're just as important at your economic level. But if you didn't plan, you plan to fail. And that's really what this harvest, the fall and the winter does. It magnifies what you did well, and it magnifies what you did wrong or were lazy about, where now you begin to act desperate, anxious, antsy. But again, if you have your health and you have access to a system, it's never too late to get on the right side of success and significance, and you can foster and nurture the right harvest for yourself. And again, check this out. Benji, I think that's Risto Benji, if I'm pronouncing your name right. I have setbacks, but I'm working this plan. Those are not setbacks. Those are actually character builders and tests to see if you have the intestinal fortitude to get to the next level. And that's where the adversary comes in. He will give you the same test over and over again until you pass it, just like playing a video game. If that makes sense. But once you accomplish that and get to the next level, there's going to be another set of tests. They're not setbacks. If they're setbacks, that means they're permanent. It's only you are learning to move to the next level. And what our friend Dr. Will Jolly says, a setback is only a setup for a comeback. Okay, I'm going to say that again. A setback is only a setup for a comeback. If you plan properly in the spring, in the summer, and you use those 4 little dirty words: discipline, accountability, plug into a system, and get that work in. Because what you're going to find out on your pathway to success and then to significance, there's going to be a lot of haters. There's going to be a lot of doubters. But those same people, when you make it, they're going to come through 3 phases in your life. Number 1, you get started, they're going to pretend like they're excited for you. Number 2, when you're still doing it and they really weren't excited for you and really didn't believe you were going to achieve that, they're going to say this little stupid statement. Man, hey, how that thing going? You still doing that thing? And all they're doing is reflecting their insecurities and their lack of a dream and lack of confidence. And then the 3rd phase is when you achieve that ultimate success that they wanted for themselves. Man, I knew you were always going to make it. I've been your number 1 fan. And in the spring and in the summer, that's why I was up there grinding and giving you applause and picking you up and praising you. And because now in the fall and the winter time and you got this easy life and I don't, I knew you were the winner. Tell me you ain't never heard that before. That's part of the process, baby. And that's part of the, weeding out. As they say, the chaff, time to separate the wheat from the chaff. That's what this is right now. Some people are harvesting bountiful fruit, and the majority of them are getting garbage because garbage in, garbage out. That's what I think about that, Nick.
Hey, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that. That panicking that you kind of mentioned when the people who didn't plant those seeds and didn't reap that harvest that those that applied those principles did. But we can go to a commercial first and then we'll come right back with that. So you're watching Nick's Knowledge and Notions, and we will be right back after this message. Stay tuned.
People challenge me, and you know what winners do? We stuck the challenge. I've been known as DJ Money Coach for like 12 years, but I never branded it or anything. So I said, you know what? We're going to start DJ Money Coach LLC. So let me show you. We invested $12,500 in April, and we only made $3,000 in June. Lost almost 10 G's. Most of y'all would have quit. But guess what? This was my 12th company. I already had the blueprint, I already had the system. So I knew if I had the niche, the niche, I could succeed. And guess what? We rolled to the hole. These are facts. Nick, did we do it? I had a new team put on, and they never been down that road because they've been watching YouTube and Facebook and IG. As soon as we didn't score in June, in July, they got off the boat. Nick was the wise one. Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it put you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you Achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
My name is Johnny Vo. I've joined November.
All right, and welcome back to Nick's Knowledge and Notions NQ Science Series. Again, reminder, like, share, and subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. So we're talking about the change in the seasons, the change from summer to fall, and what does the change of seasons mean symbolically for us in our human forms and in our daily lives. So DJ touched on, several great points about what the harvest means, what it takes, some things that we need to be thinking about doing, during this harvest season. And, of course, those who didn't reap the harvest that they deserve to have or desire to have. DJ mentioned that they go into panic mode. The sky is falling, everything is on fire. But the fall season is actually symbolically and we mentioned taking inventory of everything. This is actually a time to slow things down. And when I say slow things down, I don't mean in terms of your productivity and your progress, but I mean, slow things down in terms of grounding yourself and refocusing yourself and not going into panic mode, taking the time to double up on that harvest, like DJ mentioned. So DJ, when you're thinking about this idea of slowing down, in terms of regrouping, not necessarily slowing down your productivity or letting up on putting that hammer down on what you need to take care of, what comes to mind when you think of not going into panic mode, but actually slowing down to regroup and recalibrate?
Well, the first thing I think about is what John C. Maxwell says, is that you got to spend more time thinking. And since typically in most of the country, the weather is colder, gets darker sooner, what I would encourage you to do is actually take time to sit down with yourself. Meditate. One of the things that I love about my daughter's school is that they start the day with meditation. They meditate, I think it's for about 5-10 minutes to open up the day. And that way you can get clarity and you can listen to yourself actually think and become one with God and find out what God has in store for you, because he actually is giving you, indicators. In order to receive those indicators, your antennas got to be up. Your mental antennas got to be up. So a lot of times when we get sick physically, there's indicators to tell us that a sickness is coming on. And if you pay attention to it, you can actually prevent it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to spend, like John C. Maxwell says, 1 hour a week sitting alone with myself in a space. He calls it put a chair, have an office, and just sit down, relax, meditate, and think about the things that you should be doing to better yourself mentally and spiritually. And then what you'll find out, Nick, is that panic, which is only fear, false evidence appearing real, it will subside. And then that clarity would come because God will start speaking to you. And how do I mean speak to you? He'll put a thought and an idea in your mind. that will actually make things better for you if you quiet yourself and allow him to speak to you. So once I do that, the next thing I'm going to do in that private space that I have, exactly. I get 8 hours of sleep a day, purposely, deliberately. But what I also do in that space, I actually have a pen and a pad. And it's the deliberate habit that you have to focus on, becoming part of your regimen. It's no different than working out, Nick. So if I get in that position and I have that pad and I have that pen and the clarity comes to me, you'll be surprised. God will lay out a plan for you that can make the best life that you could ever believe. But you got to eliminate that noise first in order to receive the message, because your mental antennas are erect and you actually are repetitiously condition yourself to be conducive to receiving the message with the right mind and the right heart and the right soul. And once you write that information down, what I generally do, I go back and get myself a little rest, close my eyes, and get up and get refreshed. And whatever the panic was, it's gone. And I look up, and half time I don't remember the stuff I wrote, Nick. And then I read it, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. I can't even believe I wrote this stuff. But I put myself in position to receive God's message and develop the habit, and now I get a blessing. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with you, okay? So, cool. When I said at the beginning, I'm excited because Satan coming at us because we're going to the next level. One of the things Satan is doing, he decided to, have my car completely break down. A car that I haven't had a car note in 15. Honestly, I haven't had a car note since my car got repoed. So it's actually 20-something years.
Wow.
But here's the great thing, folks. Was I a little bit upset, a little bit distraught? Absolutely, because I wasn't planning for me to replace that vehicle right now. But I also put money aside for a rainy day to enable me to buy another car. So I went out, looked at some cars, found two that I really like, got ready to go hard on the cash, negotiate, which is, strategy in the book, got a price I wanted. And next thing I know, I didn't get my offer in soon enough that the guy and somebody else got the vehicle, but I have another vehicle that I got an option on, and I'm going to buy that one. So this weekend, I'm going to buy myself another car. Now, I didn't say a brand new car. Even though I can afford one, I'm going to pay cash for a nice car that fits my needs so that I can service my plan for the harvest. Now, mind you, I've already had 4 people say, hey, man, go out and get that $40,000, $50,000 whip. That's cool if that's what you want to do. But right now, we got some other objectives and plans that 40, 50 G's is going to make us $500 to $1 million. That's
right.
Now, even though I test drove one of my favorite cars, the top of the line Lexus GS, and hey man, it was like floating on air, baby. And I was tempted to buy it, but I didn't panic. And I came back and said, what is my real need right now? My need is just basic transportation with the basic amenities that I can't live without that I've had for the past 15 years. What is that? My vehicle was a top of the line Avalon with all the bells and whistles, leather, power sunroof, digital, yada, yada, yada. So I'm not taking a step down. So I'm finding myself a nice pre-driven car that's well maintained by one owner or 2 max certified that I can step into for the next 12, 24 months and drive, because when I'm at home, Nick, in my harvest, I don't have to, do a lot of driving because most of my work is right here. Only driving I got to do is dad driving. Yeah. Picking up my children, taking them to school at old dark 30, picking them up from school, because I don't do a lot of driving purposely. So now what I'm going to do, because I'm following my plan, ladies and gentlemen, and I also don't counsel myself. So as soon as that happened, guess what I did? I spoke to my counsel. Hey, what do you think I should get? What do you think I should do? And one of my counsel, guess what, is my professional mechanic that's been my mechanic for 7 years. I got my car towed to my mechanic, and he said, hey, let me see if we can resuscitate it. Couldn't get it done. He said, hey, man, go out and get another one, bring it in to me. I'll check it out. I'll tell you what it's worth, and we'll roll to the hole. That's what I did. Then I talked to my financial person. How much do you think I should spend? And he said, hey, man, you shouldn't spend more than 20% what you bring in on a monthly basis after taxes. So you know what that is? That's like $7-8 grand. And I'm going to just write a check, babe. I ain't even going to write a check. You know what? I actually went to the bank and got the cash. Real talk, man. Real talk. I'm actually show you guys. So, because here's the power in negotiation. If you want to get the best price in the harvest, because I could be panicked. I went to the bank yesterday, took a nice, withdrawal, put it in cash. So when I wanted the car I wanted, I had the money to show them. And here's another tip. This ain't my first rodeo. And I know if the immediate emergency really wasn't that urgent. So that's real. So in the next 24, 48 hours, 72, DJ the Money Coach is going to have another vehicle. And I'm going to be driving up. And here's the funny part. I also do have an antique sports car. I could go drive that. It works. But I'm not. And I have a sports utility. But that's not for me to drive. But my own personal car, you want to get another one? Boom. I'm going to title that in my business. And I'm going to write it off. And I'm going to keep rolling to the hole, baby. But what did I just say? In the panic, what I could justifiably done, I sought out what? Counsel. In BK1, it says, he or she who counsels himself is a fool. Even at my income level, I do not counsel myself. I make the final decision, but I don't counsel myself. That's how you eliminate the panic. Because I have a plan, like our CPA, James Lane Jr. tells all of our small business investors and members, you have to have a defensive plan because shit happens. And in another book that I've been read 3 times in the last 2 months, talks about a defensive strategy is better than an offensive strategy when it comes to building wealth. But we get on that road to success and everything's going right, because that happens when you have ignorance on fire or when you just have big momentum from working your plan right. Everything happens. Everything you touch turns to gold. But guess what? What goes up comes down, ebb and flow. So are you ready for the ebb, or you just getting in love with the flow? So why I didn't panic is because in 20 years, I've seen this video in my life 3-4 times. The first time, oh yeah, there was a panic when I got my car repoed. There was a panic when my wages got garnered. But you know what I did? I said, this ain't happening again. So I sought out a team. And now the harvest is abundant, even in hard times. Do we like it? No, but we get accustomed and we get prepared and we handle it better. That's why I'm saying that, youth is wasted on youth, and a man or woman with great experience, when a guy walks into a bar with a boatload of cash and he's young, he walks out empty-handed because the man with the experience takes his money.
Yeah, they catch, they didn't get that one now. They catch that one on the on the way back.
So hopefully I answered your question about
absolutely
handling the panic. And hopefully the people who are watching and listening to this are really open up their minds and their antennas to receive this gospel according to DJ the Money Coach. Because what you just been shared with is 20 years of expertise and experiences from A to Z, i.e. the ABCs of wealth, a common sense strategy of achieving the American dream. And that's the reason why we have sustainability. And we have challenges. We have people no-show us. We have people show up late. And we have to still work with a smile, without, anger in our heart and empathy. But we still got to hold people accountable as well. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because that's all part of the package when you get to the top. And here's another thing I want to say about this. So that panic becomes, passion and purpose. And here's the reality. It is infinite abundance at the top of the mountain for every man and woman on this planet. We'll never run out of it. You're never going to run out of ocean, baby. You might run out of lakes. They might dry up like in Utah, but not the oceans, baby.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you answered that question perfectly. The folks out there, they should definitely pick up what you're putting down there for sure. I definitely am.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we got some great people watching right now live. I'd be interested. Hey, shoot us a question.
Yeah.
What's going on in your harvest season right now? Mm-hmm. Is it panic, or it is pleasure and purpose and abundance? Where are you at? Answer that question and ask us a question that we can help assist you with tonight and give you some perspective and maybe some introspection as well, because we're here to help. And the only way to help is for you to share with us something that we can help you with. So as the old saying goes, help me, help you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So just like I talked about on last night's show on Bet on Black, the men, the family, the legacy, one thing that I got introspective is, I was getting a little too profane on some of our shows, and I'm purposely not using the profanity, and if I do, I'm gonna make sure it's purposeful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I feel that I have to say it, I got to make sure that it's said in the capacity, like Bill said, how we deliver it, so that it's received by everyone that needs to get this message. Because that's what it's about at the end of the day. So again, we're talking about the harvest. We're talking about the challenges. We're talking about the preservation. We're talking about the panic. But where's the plan at? And what is your purpose? Mm-hmm. Because here's the reason why I'm not, wearing the pom-pom shirt, which is right over my left shoulder. Tonight, when we replace I with we, we turn illness into wellness. So again, the tale of two cities. There's people who are having illness, mentally, and there's people who are having wellness in the same harvest. And again, if you're not stricken with a physical illness and a real mental illness that, basically debilitates you, you can actually change all of that. And the first thing is, you got to get counsel. You got to put pen to paper. You got to find that quiet spot, invest that time with yourself, and let everything slow down. But in the process of doing that, you're still working your plan and getting your grind on.
Exactly. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So I never said stop doing that, but I'm saying allocate deliberately time for yourself to invest in yourself so that you can be more open and more conducive to the message, because your antenna's up to God to feed you what you need to be fed. And he's only going to give you what you can handle. And 9 out of 10 times, those challenges that you're feeling right now in the harvest, if you didn't do the work and you did do the work, I want to talk to people too, because I hear people out there too, and I've been here too, where you're doing the work, you're grinding, but you're grinding with the wrong mindset, and you don't know what your blind spots are. And why do I say that? Again, I'm only can tell my own story. Okay, so I was in the network marketing business in the mid-90s, and I probably worked 5-10 times harder than anybody that came around. I was like a robot, but I wasn't getting the success that other people were getting. That seemed like they were working 1/10 is what I worked, but there was a lot of anger deep down in my soul. And you know what? Just like a dog can smell fear on a person, the people I was coming in contact with, even though I was sharp dressed, spoke the King's English, I was articulate, I was passionate, they just felt something wasn't right. Because you know what? That's in between that time, I was behind on my bills. My credit score was jacked up. I was desperate. And even though I looked the part, talked the part, they could tell something was amiss. I didn't know, and I just got even more frustrated and even more angry until somebody sat me down and said, look, hey, man, there's something going on in your personal spiritual life that's preventing you from getting the blessing, and you can work harder and harder and harder, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse because you have not addressed these mental, spiritual challenges that you have. And if you think nobody doesn't see it, you're fooling yourself. So this could be you, her, and now you're getting resentful for the person that's doing less because they have peace of mind and you don't, and you're working 10, 20 times harder than they are, and they're getting more prosperity from their seeds that they planted. So what you need to do is take a self-assessment in like Johari's window. Johari, if you look this up, Johari, Johari's window pane, which I talk about in the ABCs of Wealth. There's one pane in your 4-pane window that you see that nobody else sees about you. The second window pane, Nick, is what you see, Nick, about me that I don't see. The third window pane is what you see and I see about myself, but the magical window pane is the pane that God sees of what the best you can become. And that's why they talk about, you know, self-actualization is the hardest thing for people to achieve because they don't know who they really are in God's eyes. So until you can take inventory and address that, I don't care how hard you work, how smart you are, you're never going to have peace of mind because you are unstable in that most important pain that people see that you don't see, and God has it for you, but you got to stop, listen, open your antennas, and receive, and now that panic will subside, and now it will blossom. But when I made that change, and I humbled myself and addressed those issues, then all of a sudden, I started reaping a better harvest. And that takes a lot for a man and a woman to admit that. And that's almost like, why aren't men and women getting married and staying married more and longer today than yesteryears? Because guess what? You rather be right or you rather be married and have your vertical alignment in the right alignment. You might catch that on the way home, especially for the black man and the black woman.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But going back to your question about, you know, where folks are in their harvest season, let me go back to an earlier comment from K Business. They say I put in the work for my side business. I applied for a government contract and I was awarded the contract. I had to sacrifice, work weekends, holidays. I was home working on my business. Yep, yep, putting in the work. Harvest season.
And you know what? If you have children, K business, they're going to benefit from that work you're doing right now, 5-10 years down the road. And hopefully you'll keep them grounded by having conversations with them of how you provide for them by setting up that foundation, because those blessings are putting you in position to have the peace that your second and third generation deserves to have. I applaud you. I commend you. Keep putting in the work and make sure you delegate and find yourself a couple of winners like Nick to help you enjoy the fruit. And that's another thing. Don't overwork yourself. Don't be a workaholic. Okay? So in the process of working and becoming a workaholic, we actually become idol worshipers of the work we do, and we fall in love with the work. And then now we got another extreme. We got extreme of financial success, and we keep grinding until the point is, when is enough enough? See, we rarely talk about that. You know, at some point, a steak only gets so juicy. A cold brew can only be so cold. So at what point do you determine, hey, you know what? I put enough work in that I can enjoy the benefits with my family and my friends, and I put them in the right vehicles that they can continue to prosper. So you also see that in success too, where people just constantly on the grind and they're making all the money, but they're in love with the grind, and that's all they do is the grind, and life passes them by. And then their children become the worst children on the planet because their children got the trappings of the physical stuff, but they don't have you.
Deep. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Hey, guess what? Been there too.
Wow. Yeah.
Even right now, I mean, I've been on the road, 5-7 weeks in a row, something like that. 5 out of 7. So even though I'm thinking I'm spending a lot of quality time with my children more than other people, you know, my daughter's like, hey, Dad, when we going to hang out with you? And, you know, I have to sit down and say, hey, you know what? Check this out. You know, Crunch, Courageous. Dad's putting in a little bit more extra time, even though we don't have to, because we're planning for your future. And so if you come up short, you get impaired, Dad's putting some tools in place and some assets in place so that you ain't got to worry about your future, but I hear you. So guess what? I was supposed to go to FinCon yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I took it off my calendar. Regardless, the car broke down or whatever, I have transportation and I could have been there, but you know what? I opted to stay here because I listened. Because I remember when I was that young kid and I would look out the window for when my mom and dad would come and they never would be there, and it broke my heart. It broke my spirit. But only until I got older, I realized that my mom had to work 2-3 jobs, et cetera, but I don't have to, so I listen. So hopefully y'all hear me. I listen, and guess what? Yes, FinCon is important, but my time with my daughters and my son ain't nothing more important.
Absolutely. And it looks like just one more comment here from Risto Benji in relation to harvest season. Looks like it's in the planning and the counseling stage. I'm considering a network marketing program, home-based business. Another income source would help in addition to items I can write off. This while education is going on related to health studies. So it sounds like that the aspects of the plan are starting to come down, and it'll be a good time to receive some of that counsel that DJ was just talking about.
Yeah. So let me say, again, I'm considering a network marketing program, home-based business. Another income source would help in addition to items I can write off. This while education is going on related to health studies. Yeah. So what I would say, Risto, Benji, just like Nick just talked about, is I would actually see how this fits into my original plan and see what other time I have to invest, because here's what I don't do. I don't do things for tax write-offs. Okay. The tax write-off is the icing on the cake. Okay. That's the serendipity. Okay. The most important piece is you have to make sure that it lines up with your freedom date, because you're going to require extra time, and it doesn't, put your other priorities out of priority. Okay. So what I would do if I were you, and this goes to K Business as well, I sit down with my advisory team no less than once every 90 days. But realistically, we talk once a week and we strategize and we make, corrections in the course. And if this does fit into your program and it actually adds value for the long term without diminishing the other stuff you do, then do it. And then take the tax write-offs that are the serendipity of business success and keep it moving. But here's the thing. A network marketing program requires a lot of your time. I don't care who or what they tell you. I'm 100% for network marketing programs, but I have yet to see a person involved in a network marketing program did not have to spend a lot of time to make significant income. Because the facts are, if you look at their legal disclaimer, generally in most network marketing companies, the average return on investment is a couple of $100. The people you see up on top stage that are making 100,000, lucky to make the million, they're putting in just as much amount of work, 60, 70, 80 hours a week to make that happen. So if the network marketing program is to subsidize your current income, forget about the tax write-offs, then be wise about your time investment and your learning curve. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Be wise about your time investment and your learning curve, and be realistic on the amount of money that you can make, and make sure it's the right one for you at the right time. Because when I was in network marketing, since I'm a laser focused person, other than my job, that's all I was doing. And I made some good income in it, but I didn't get up to the top because of my negative baggage, which I just shared with you. And I lost a couple of years that I could have invested in my own business. And that's why I got out and started my own business. But conversely, the person had a positive platform, no negative baggage. They made the money. And I know people right now today, two of my good friends, 7-figure earner in network marketing, and one that makes several $100,000. But that's all they do. They don't do any other side hustle. What they do is the money they made from the network marketing business, they invested in other businesses that are run by other people. Okay. So what I would say to you, if you haven't consulted with somebody that's been down the road where you're trying to go, first thing you should do is reach out and touch hands with them and get some counseling, or buy a program and talk to somebody that has the fruit on the tree. And I talk about it in the ABCs of Wealth. If you want, grab the book. I talk about the ABCs of Wealth, about my network marketing, endeavor, which took about 7 to 8 years of my life. And I'm grateful for it because I learned a lot. It enabled me to grow some very successful businesses.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, we're here in our network, is available to you if you would like to get in contact with us. Of course, the information for the book is in the video description, as well as how to engage with us and to work with us. If you would like a one-on-one session to get further information and to get in contact with some of those people that have that fruit on the tree that can really speak to that experience. All that information is there is there for you as well. You know, so of course you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. You get the book. Yes. The link is in the description. The link is in the description for you, so you could go ahead and get the book and read that story. And thank you for sharing that. You know, thank you for putting that. You know, being transparent and vulnerable and sharing that out into the the public space there.
Absolutely. We take everybody that watches and listens to us serious. You know, we don't think this is happen chance. We're not the typical flavor of the month for everybody. We're the real flavor, and it's only for the chosen few that get what we put down, because this is 20 years, 25,000 people that I have spoken with in 20 years. So I've seen almost everything on the planet, except for a couple of new things that just came to my attention that I'm excited about, but very rarely does something fool me, because I've been in this game for a long time. Okay. So, hey man, I think we come back and wrap it up.
Yep.
And get up out of here, man. This has been amazing. So again, I would encourage people, if you like what we're putting down, share this with 5 other people right now, and like and subscribe. And you can always reach us, at the information below on the screen. And we're open. And you know what? You'd be surprised. I've had probably 30% of the people that we come in contact with, Nick, this is hilarious. They're shocked that I actually do the appointments.
Yeah.
That's one thing you're going to find out. My word is my bond. I told you, what's the number one differentiator for me and everybody else you see on these platforms? I don't know if it's 100%, but it's a very high percentage. I would say 90% of people at my level and above, you ain't getting to talking to them one-on-one for the little bit of help that you need. Not because you're not important, it's because they have a complete system in place that they have already removed themselves from that part of their business. We're not like that. And just talked to a young lady the other day named Lisa, and she was shocked that I called her personally. And I talked to another person. I think the person's name was Eric, and he was, "What? Is this really you? I thought I was going to talk to one of your people." No, this is me. That complimentary consultation that comes with the program, you get me, and you actually will get me live on a Zoom, because this is our give back. We do extremely, well in corporate and our other endeavors, that we can donate our time at a fraction of the investment to help those who need the help, that are seriously looking for the right team to work with. So, hey man, let's go to our last break, and then we come back and wrap it up and we get out of here. And man, it's always awesome to share with you guys on Nick's Knowledge and Notions, other known as NQ.
But in essence, it could be a world tour with the Classic Climb Tour. Shout out to Erica Williams with the Classic Climb Tour and ATL. Shout out to Tim Jackson. Shout out to Andre Hackett. Shout out to Todd the Billionaire. Shout out to James King. Shout out to all my friends who did an amazing speaking job and sharing the wealth of freedom to people. And all it takes is 4 words that you got to do. They're dirty little words. The first one is discipline. The second one is accountability. The third one is plug into a system that's successful. And the fourth one is do the work. And when you do that, you can achieve the pom-pom lifestyle, which is plenty of money, peace of mind. And then you can come join us on the beaches of the World Club. So check this out. Literally, I was just in the ATL last night speaking on stage with my friends. And now, because I took the time to build the ABCs of wealth, to achieve the common sense strategy to achieve an American dream, I now have this. Look at that. Yeah, man. Isn't that something? So you can have this too. But let me tell you a little tip. You have to master the hard things in life while you're young, and life gets easier. You master the easy things in life, and life gets hard as hell, almost impossible to live the older you get. So I'm gonna say that again. Master the hard things in life when you're young, and life gets easier, and it gets like this for you for the rest of your life. That's what I'm talking about. So you can have it too. All you got to do is come join us. And it's real simple. I wrote this book in 20 years of success. And it's a common sense strategy of achieving the American dream. And you too can come out here and enjoy this amazing lifestyle. So if you want to do that, get this book right now below, The ABCs of Wealth, the common sense strategy of achieving American dream. It's 20 years in the making to help you achieve the Pom Pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. And you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. I'm DJ the Money Coach. I'll see you on the beaches of the world because you deserve it, have it as well. And all you got to do is achieve 4 dirty little words: discipline, accountability, plug into the system, and go to work. And you too can have the Pom Pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money, peace of mind. Come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. So hit that link below. The first 10 people to get the book, The ABCs of Wealth, the common sense strategy of achieving American dream, you get an autographed copy. And I'll even give you a 10-minute complimentary consultation for the first 10 because that's the kind of guy I am to help you achieve the American dream. I'll see you next time.
Okay, there goes my camera.
All right. Hey, man, let's wrap up, man. It's been an awesome show. Wrap up,
absolutely.
Get out of here. Thank our people for coming out, patronizing the platform and spreading the word. Because hey, we're only gonna bring you the real facts, the real truth, because we have 20 years of experience of doing this, and we just like you, we've had many of valleys, and we've had a lot of peaks, and we've been able to sustain a normal rising trajectory because we have a system, we apply discipline, we have accountability partners, and we have work that we're unafraid and unapologetically to do, and we prepare to have a great harvest because our spirit and our soul is right, and we expect the challenges because they're only opportunities in disguise and indicators from the man above to make us do the right things for the right reason.
Yep. That's right. Yes. So yes, that harvest. Remember that harvest and that change of seasons is a holistic process. So make sure you don't neglect one area. Put too much focus on one area and neglect other areas. So yes, we talk about finance all the time, but make sure that you don't neglect your health, your family, your relationships, all of those things that you can't put a dollar amount on, and that you in the course of your time, things that you're not able to put a price on or get back, so it's a holistic process, make sure you take self-inventory, self-reflection, slow down, take time to think, and plant the seeds so you can reap the harvest that you deserve. So until next Friday, you have been watching Nick's Knowledge and Notions InCube Science Series. And again, like, share, subscribe, help us get to 1,000 subscribers so we can spread this gospel of the Pom Pom lifestyle and financial freedom. And we wish all of you a Pom Pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money, peace of mind. And we want you to come join us on the beaches of the world. And your beach may not be next to sand or water, but your beach is where you find your personal freedom, your peace of mind, and your abundant harvest. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Hi, so this is a testimonial for DJ the Money Coach. First of all, I got one of the best packages that you had, so that was A1. I love the team. They have really come through. You were amazing as a coach. Every week you showed up on time. Every single week. And trust me, I've been in a lot of courses, a lot of classes, spent a lot of money. And unfortunately, some people don't do what they say that they're going to do as a coach.
Salutations to all. My name is Alhamdulillah Ali. I'm 37 years old. I've worked in the public service sector in the DMV, also known as DC, Maryland, Virginia, for about 14 years. And I'm just here to give my commentary about the Seven Spheres of Money program. It's amazing. It's awesome. DJ has a logical, practical, and objective approach to personal and business economics. This is what you need. If you are serious about having that generational wealth that's beyond the hashtag, I encourage you to get involved so that you also can have the pom-pom lifestyle.
And I want to say we would not be able to do this without the personal assistance of DJ. He has truly provided us financial help as well as coaching so that we can thrive ourselves as an institution. DJ has always, since the day I met him many years ago when I first started educating his oldest son, who's now a sophomore in college, DJ has always provided information, knowledge, and support to Know Thyself Academy so that we can grow and expand and continue to do what we do.
DJ has experience with private investing. He has experience with working with small businesses, mid-sized, large businesses, estate planning, willing to work with the community to see them enhance their quality of life. He's done over thousands of educational workshops. He's very passionate about seeing people having a chance to win at life and leaving something, a legacy behind for their family. I trust this guy because I've seen him in person. I've seen him work. I've seen the results and watched him in action. So if it's about money, it's about growing your business, it's about having an impact on the community, DJ's your guy.
As a Black woman founder of a global tech startup, I personally recommend DJ the Money Coach because he met me where I was. He gave me a chance to show them what I could do. You can trust DJ because he has an incredible, ever-expanding network, an impressive background in finances, and the expertise in navigating how to raise capital. Take advantage of the Seven Spheres money management system, and I guarantee you an unmatched, life-changing experience. Or as DJ would say, you can start living your pom-pom lifestyle.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to my guy, DJ. Met him at a real estate networking event in Houston, Texas. From there, we kind of just saw where the synergy was, and he's been helping me along to pitch and to meet new people, to talk about current investment that I have in a 200-unit development deal that me and my team are working on, as well as future endeavors. He's mentored me from the business standpoint, real estate, accounting, taxes, anything you can think of. This guy, rubs his hands or knows somebody or knows of it or has done it before. So just a wealth of knowledge has introduced me to some of the strongest connections that I've made to date in the real estate world. And just wanted to say thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
I'm making this video in reference to working with DJ, the Money Coach, working with him to help my business grow in this 2021 year, get some things together in reference to tax planning, with his CPA, business coaching, and a financial strategy, doing a 1, 3, and 5 year plan in this 2021, helping me and my business reach higher heights.
I want to give a shout out to DJ the Money Coach and his team for giving me an opportunity for financial freedom. but more importantly, sovereignty. You want sovereignty? Join the money team.
Stop wishing better, start doing better, and move forward with somebody that has not only the knowledge, the skills, the talent, and the team to help you go where you want to go. I'll get more than my money's worth. If I can spend a few grand, several grand on a piece of luggage, I could spend a little bit to get a lot of it in the long run. So if you're thinking about doing better, stop thinking, start doing, and definitely get down with the pom-pom lifestyle.